Normally I get a vaps, you want to call it. Normally a song comes to mind, or there's a topic that I want to discuss, and I think it relates a bit to the topic that I want to discuss. So I choose appropriate songs sometimes to introduce. Wrong, right? To exude the discipline. And of course, yesterday we were talking about that good intention and keeping God uppermost in our thoughts, and thus in the preceding actions, right? What you think you are as a mind thinketh, right? Whatever you conceptualize inside of here often comes out, and that's why we have to ensure that we are clean, spiritually, that this mind is fed with the right substances so that it could produce goodness, right? Goodness and love. So good morning to everybody. Good morning to all those who on the road heading to work, those heading to drop children to school. Good morning to all of our children. Good morning to the young men and young women, the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, special good morning to their parents, those who charge with this responsibility as well to get them to school. Blessed good morning to you all. I'm surprised I forgot yesterday, but in the midst of what we were talking about, I forgot to mention some major developments in the United States in particular. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a international issue, but of course, yes, what takes place in the United States is looked at by so many people across the world as well. And of course, they have a history in terms of violence towards public figures. And we saw this killing of Mr. Charlie Kirk. To be honest, as much as I follow politics internationally, regionally, and otherwise, I didn't really come across Mr. Kirk, to be honest. I mean, maybe I glanced him and he did not resonate or stick in my mind. But apparently he was quite influential over the electoral campaign. Of course, he's an ardent supporter of Mr. Trump. And he has a number of interesting views, right? Note the note the use of language, right? Very, very interesting views on certain topics. Some of those views are quite contentious as well. Some people might go so far to say divisive in some ways, some of the things that he speaks about. Of course, not only myself, but other people share conservative views on some issues, right? We share conservative views on some issues. We are pro-family and we encourage, the foundation of societies as that family, husband and wife and children. We promote ideas that are pro-life, right? We have conservative values in the sense that we believe in a creator, and we also believe in following the instructions of that creator as well. So, there are similarities even with people who are, to the end of the spectrum, far right in some opinions as well, right? And when I say right, I mean the political stance, not always that you're right. But very, very interesting views. And obviously they're still trying to find the person who committed that act and piece together the motives and the motivation behind it. But as we look on, this situation is just extremely common and similar to what takes place too often in the United States. And as I say here today, if we look for an example of a society for us to pattern ourselves after, certainly the United States is one not to look towards. We have to look further afield for a proper example of something that, one, is working for the benefit of the majority of its people, and two, for a society that is grounded in the values that I try to purport as being Trinbagonian. Right? All I know that part of this effort here today, right, is to try to shape Trinbagonian in all of the positive ways that our elders have taught us. That's why we constantly go back and connect to their wisdom. That's why we constantly build on the concepts of Gayap and Susu and, this coming together to work together, this village raising a child. Even though we feel as though, and it is a reality, that a lot of that has been moved away from, we hold it there as being real Trinbagonian, being human. Part of being a Trinbagonian is having a heart. We just stoops and let slide. We just forgive. We just say, oh gosh man, and overlook and move on. We just understand. Whether it's overstanding you or understanding you, for those who have the Rasta inclination, etc., we understand each other. I understand, I understand what's going on. And we overlook the shortcomings of each other. We are respectful of very, very different views. Right? All I know in Trinidad and Tobago is all kind of talk people have. People that say, people that say all kind of things and express some interesting views, and we tolerate as much as possible. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good Friday morning to you.
And same to you, man. Blessed Friday morning to you, man.
All right, thank God it's Friday. Now, I go into newspaper article with column embrace is truth. And I hope that stick a break in the air. They listen. You understand? Because the first time I heard column embrace also and that like if you button for the Falcons or the TKR or somebody.
All right, go ahead.
The second thing has to do with Mr. Lumpkin and Tutor. Tutor collect membership, correct or incorrect?
Correct. Yeah, they collect membership fees.
Right. Now, they should be the ones working with the government. You call it for de-escalation training. They should be the ones looking at the problems which teachers face, and they know the problem, and say, look, let me organize a 2 weeks workshop during the July-August holiday, and we deal with all the issues that we have seen over the month. over the years, over the past academic year, whether it be fights in school, whether it be all kinds of issues. I'm sure that you will get an agenda full for 2 weeks. And get the members empowered by training them. Don't use where you're using the funds for right now. You can explain, because you collect a hefty sum. You have over 12,000 members. I don't know how much money is the membership due, but that in itself, if it's $20 a month for easy calculation, that in itself gives you a grand figure, a big figure. So you should use that to come back and train your members, or assist in training your members. Don't depend on the government, because you see, you know, you want the government to take on this and you want the government to take on that. You have to come out. Yesterday, he made a statement. He was nowhere present. He said he heard, and he ain't sure who come, if the teacher come, and if the student. You have to be better than as a leader. You have to make the personal sacrifice and do what is required. So, Mr. Lumpkin, I hope after this academic year finished, you have a training program for teachers to help them so that the school system can be better in the future. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I don't know if Mr. Lumpkin is listening. I often give him some talk on the union scene whenever he's there, because obviously he would have broken ranks a little bit to accept what the general body was not accepting, right? So I was giving him a little talk, and some of his goodly members as well. But yeah, pay attention to what is going on, and also obviously make that effort, which I hope Tutor, is making that effort as well, to see what they can do. But they have a responsibility as well to represent their workers and to seek the best conditions, etc., for their workers. So if they call on the government for whatever purposes, I'm not too negative towards that either. Good morning, Mr. West. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ford. I listened to you and you touched on the incident in the United States with respect to this guy Charlie, Chris or whatever his name is. And people have to understand from the background, move from the background. America has always been divided in terms of race and that kind of thing. And the history would have told you that they considered African people or black people as 3/5 for human beings. We know for a fact that when you look at the southern states, they're rather racist. We know that. We know about segregation. When we talk about apartheid, that was apartheid. Africans, there were washrooms, there were schools for black as against white and all these different things. And therefore, one needs to get an understanding of the nature of the social life in America over the years. It hasn't changed. And you have ideology. You have those people who subscribe to they're conservative, they're Republican, and you have those who are Democrats. And when we look at the southern states and Louisiana and Mississippi, all those countries, all those areas, and you won't have to take into account also the civil wars that was fought, right? Some people say it was fought to liberate the African people from slavery and all that kind of thing, the African slaves and whatnot. So with that background, you get a better understanding as to where America is now and where you, the individual, will fit within the scheme of things. With that understanding. But we are not taught that kind of history here. The local history, again, is not taught properly, and it is also distorted.
Yeah.
And people don't really get, people who talk history, speak about history in Trinidad and Tobago sometimes, you want to know where they're going with that. So I'm saying that, it's not surprising to see what is happening in America today with respect to this Charlie Kirk or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
and,
Charlie Kirk.
Given the history of America from 1619, that is when the first slave ship landed in Virginia, that up to present time. Look at the whole question, I don't want to repeat myself again, with segregation. That was the first idea with respect to apartheid. Black people couldn't go in their different washrooms for them. They couldn't go, they couldn't sing, they couldn't go to a restaurant, they couldn't go here, they couldn't go there. Understand that. And I think I heard last night with the killing of course, most of those colleges, black colleges and universities, they had to shut down. So we need sometime to have educated people in this country with respect, not just to Western history, which sometimes the way they teach the damn thing here. Sorry about my language here. So I apologize.
That's all right.
The way they teach the thing here, most people don't understand. The average child don't have a proper understanding of history in this country.
Yeah.
Unless the American history, which is important. If you go into something and you doesn't know what you're getting into, you get consumed by it.
Yeah.
So basically, that is what, and I want to talk about the unions and the people. I like to be frank, I don't like to, play around with it. The fact remains is that most of these unions, most unions came out of the politics. If you go back to England, the Trade Union Congress, most of those unions in the Labour Party and all that, and in Trinidad, you look at the same trade union, Butler and all these people. But you must also understand that unions are aligned to political parties and they express the sentiments of political parties. You have to understand that. And there's evidence that with that teachers' union being espousing, they have taken aside over the last how many years, but probably over the last 3 years, but it became very clear. So I am not surprised with the what is going on with respect to tutor and whatnot and the behavior of the operators there. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, Mr. Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. We have seen in the United States that there was an attempt, even during the electoral campaign of Mr. Trump, on his life. Well, that's what we were told and what we would have seen. I don't know where that has gone totally. But yeah, the nature of politics, and beyond politics, the actions of Americans, it's ironic. The suspect or the person of interest who they're looking for is a young white male, right? I repeat, a young white male. So it's very, very interesting. But some of his views have been viewed as very divisive and I very hard to justify as well. But of course, like I said, some of his conservative views make sense at times as well. So you get such a mix in there. And you have people who love what he says and the way that he says it, quite brave and brazen, etc. And there are people who take great offense to what he says, used to say as well. Alright, so we take the break and we'll be back and we'll just go through a couple of other developments as well. Alright, take care.
And killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. Remember, every Sunday from 7:05 a.m. to 8:55 a.m. for the program God's Last Warning Message with Gospel in the Bones Ministry, right here on the street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Are you searching for answers to life's questions? Those things that disturb and concern you the most? Why all the wickedness? Why the suffering in the world? Will it end? Who is responsible? Well, if so, join us right here on The Street 91.9 FM every Sunday from 5 to 6 p.m. with Brother Samuel Gooding and Roland White, where we open the Bible and find answers to all these things and more. For it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Cricket fans, it's time to smash hunger for 6. This CPL season, chase the crunch with KFC's Boundary Bucket. 6 juicy pieces of chicken, 4 crispy tenders, and 4 mouth-watering sides just for $139.95. This offer is available via the KFC, TTT, AP, or in-store kiosks. So pad up, download the KFC TTT app, or click the kiosk to order today. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Calling all choir. This is TNT's first gospel choir event of its kind. It's finally here. This is Divine Harmony. Choirs from all over the country will vie for over $250,000 in prizes. Semi-final round. The East-West Corridor. Saturday, September 20th. Central and South Trinidad. Saturday, September 27th. And Tobago. Saturday, October 4th. To register, call 719-9599. TNT. Get ready. This is Divine Harmony.
Everybody sing it. The presence of oxygen is absolutely the absence of disease. Most chronic diseases that plague us are not happening to us, but is happening within us. We're literally eating ourselves to death, which means we're not living longer, we're dying longer. Join fitness expert Aloy Johnson, the founder of the healthiest corner on earth, located at number 92 East Drive, Chamflo, every Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. live on The Street 919 FM, where he shows you that healing the body's temple is easier than anyone would have led you to believe.
Light up your weekends at Vibes Nightclub, Tobago's hottest spot. 3 epic nights of music and energy await every Thursday. Karaoke Thursdays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Grab the mic, unleash your inner star, and sing all night. Beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and giveaways for the best singers. Every Friday, Limers Fridays. Kick off at 8 p.m. with free entry. Vibes with your crew and enjoy beers on special for $10, 2 Campari for $25, and 2 White Oak for $25. Every Saturday, Raw Saturdays. Everything goes, nothing but good vibes, free entry, and an all-star DJ cast to bring the vibes. Vibes Nightclub is where Tobago shines. Join us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for music, fun, and unforgettable nights. Don't miss out. Your weekend starts at Vibes.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-866-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
The Gap Man Limited specializes in products that cater to all your health needs. The Male Enhancement Package targets the areas of the body that contribute to erectile dysfunction. The Male Enhancement costs $1,400. The Gap pills are priced at 250 pills for $500 and 500 pills for just $900. For the best in eye care, get the super combination of a Super Bright and the Body Healer. To improve the heart's function and circulation, get the Gap pills pills, and Formula C. To get a total body cleanse daily, use the Gap Body Healer and Big C, all for a super low price of $1,300. To order your products from the Gap Man Limited, call 628-4531 for products that cater to all your health needs.
For more info, contact 476-7268.
Calling all choir. This is TNT's first gospel choir event of its kind. It's finally here. This is Divine Harmony. Choirs from all over the country will vie for over $250,000 in prizes. Semi-final round, the East-West Corridor, Saturday, September 20th, Central and South Trinidad, Saturday, September 27th, and Tobago, Saturday, October 4th. To register, call 719-9599. TNT, get ready. This is Divine Harmony.
Everybody say it.
Hi there, I'm Lester Sublal, inviting you to join me on the first, second, and third Saturday, 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, and on the fourth and fifth Saturday from 8:30 p.m. for an extended version of Slow Gospel Music on Street 91.9 FM.
What are you doing? Big D, big fun, KFC, so we big on the ground. The big nation, cause you don't know we were the crown. Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
Come to KFC, let we all have fun, and let we join together, because KFC is life. It's a big deal.
Say what you want, KFC, so we lead in front. We are big nation, TNT and KFC, one motion.
The Embassy Yacht is back and ready to transform your events into unforgettable experiences. Launched from King's Wharf, San Fernando, the perfect starting point for an epic experience of luxury, music, and celebration on the open water. By booking our vessel, your event will include a house DJ, state-of-the-art sound system, fully stocked bar, dedicated cleaning crew, top-notch security. This isn't just a venue, it's a floating masterpiece designed to make your event the talk of the town. Imagine your guests dancing under the stars, drinks in hand, with breathtaking views of the coastline as your backdrop. From birthdays to corporate events to exclusive parties, the Embassy Yacht offers promoters a unique platform to create unforgettable memories and boost your brand's reputation. Call or WhatsApp 399-5959 or email embassycruises@gmail.com.
Are you ready to elevate your baking game? Try Lion Brand Self-Rising Flour, now in our convenient and eco-friendly pouch packaging. With just the right balance of flour and baking powder, our self-rising flour takes the guesswork out of baking. Whether you're whipping up fluffy pancakes for the kids or baking a delicious cake for that special occasion, Lion Brand Self-Rising Flour helps you create not just food, but connections that bring people together. Bake more, worry less, and share the goodness. Lion Brand, the power behind our great taste traditions.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Good morning. We are back. So share the live. Our number is 3420081 4665 and we are live on YouTube, IWER TV. We are live on the 91.9 FM website as well. We're live on Facebook, my Facebook as well, and of course streaming across the airwaves. So plenty of options there to tune in and enjoy, and also educate yourself over the hour and a half every single morning, except Saturdays and Sundays, right? Oh gosh, surely a human, right? So like we were saying, you know, that development in the United States, not uncommon. I think a couple days before there was also, you know, that ugly incident of another mass shooting, if you want to call it that, right? So, tremendously troubling times, not now in America, but always, because there are some issues underlying in that society that need to be addressed desperately. And it is not being addressed. It has become solidified in the fabric. It is built on blood, the blood of others, you know, and so many times we have seen that people express themselves in tremendously violent ways. You know, as I said, the most presidents of any nation who have been assassinated, you know, they hold that record. And beyond just presidents, influential figures, leaders who have even put forward positive direction to different sectors of the society as well, have been, you know, murdered, right? That is the reality of that society. So, you know, we look on at what is taking place. We look on at an example of how not to be. And, you know, we thank God for our level of tolerance that we have here. There are people who have passed through our society as leaders and who have been a bit divisive in terms of racial commentary and other things. And we have tolerated them to a certain extent. Yes, we have been dismissive on platforms and forums of their divisiveness. I know all the people come to mind, right? And all I could think of a couple people in all your mind. We're not on that. That is not what we are about. It is extremely ignorant. Right? It is a level of supremacy that does not exist in the teachings that come from any moral perspective. I ain't even going to go as far as to say God. From any moral perspective. That teaching of backward ignorance of you have differences, so you are not the same, and who is better than you, and that's absolute rubbish. It is absolute rubbish. It serves the desire of some, the evil base desire of some. But any intelligence that is applied to those thinkings and teachings destroys it immediately. So we have had a couple people try that stupidness, so to speak, in Trinidad, right? And it might have a couple now still who have those ideas in their mind born out of that selfishness and whatever issues they have in themselves. But many of them keep it under low, disguise it, paint it, and many they know that it is not tolerated too much in this society. Thank God. Some of the beautiful things about my Twin Island Republic, they come with it in different ways around the political scene, etc., for their benefit. But in general, we and the way that we live with each other are testament to a greater understanding. So let us not follow those negatives that exist in other societies. Let us hold on to the positives that we have and build on it and become better. Right? Let us become better. Let us love one another. That's the constant mantra. So, that is taking place. Of course, we did mention the U.S. and their strike. Well, I say in the U.S., Israel, U.S. Sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference, right? I mean, leadership, right? Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two. But yeah, we touched on the strikes in Doha, in Qatar, and the fallout that is taking place. We see Bolsonaro in Brazil as well, being convicted. I think 27 years or 30 years. I just seen the headline and it doesn't have the exact conviction for plotting, they say, to overthrow the government, right? And of course, throughout the news, there are a number of different issues taking place in different countries. While we are in the tranquility of Trinidad and Tobago, with our own issues, but we have countries who are at war, and Ukraine and Russia and all those others who are backing Ukraine as well, at war. I could call that one a war because it is between two entities that are, formidable, right? Obviously, we know what proxies are. Sometimes people use other people as the front, and therefore it is not just Ukraine in Ukraine, but they are aided and supported, funded, armed, even personnel in that country fighting against Russia. All right, so we understand those dynamics as well. While we are in the land of oil and music, right? Sun, sand, and sea, enjoying beautiful rainfall, a little bit much sometimes, and a little traffic and flash flooding, but fresh water we blessed with. People are at war, literally bombs and destruction. And of course, the genocide taking place in Palestine still rages on. Right? I can't describe that in the same way as Ukraine and others, and Russia, and you could say probably others as well, but predominantly Russia, because it's not the same nature of conflict. Apart from the historical setting of the two issues, in terms of strength, militarily and otherwise, it's totally different. And we look on in sadness at what is transpiring, and the starvation, the murder, right, the destruction, displacement that is taking place, and we hear bold utterances, right? When people feel they have unstoppable power, when they feel they have the ability to do what they want, they speak a certain way. So you hear coming out of Israel, certain statements, even though the world and nations plan to recognize Palestine, a couple more, recognize something that has existed. They are saying that there will be no Palestinian state, right? Members of their government. It's just mind-blowing, the injustice that is taking place in our world. And you see very, very interesting stuff in the news as well. I just on the BBC page, and this one definitely stood out to me, North Korea executing more people for watching foreign films and TV, the UN finds. And I don't know, I find that extremely interesting as well. I have a smile on my face, not because I would be happy about something like that happening, but I definitely question the veracity of that report. I don't know, you know, and we have to understand the nature of even the news. We have to understand propaganda and the way that you know, outlets and agencies are utilized. But back to Trinidad and Tobago, right? And of course this issue is continuing to develop, so it is continuing to attract tremendous attention for us in Trinidad and Tobago. And that is the restructuring of the unemployment relief program. And in that process of restructuring, there's been the termination of about 400 workers. And of course, 400 people approximately, right, losing their jobs in Trinidad is a challenge. So we have had the minister, Ms. Khadija Amin, trying to explain what is taking place, promising that meaningful jobs are going to return, and explaining that, you know, she had very, very little choice but to restructure and thus terminate these employees. You know, she went at length to explain that the last administration and prior administrations have constantly gone about in changing out staff when elections and administrations change. And although that is a precedent, I worry about some of the precedents that have been set before, and I worry about continuing sometimes some of the precedents. But I do also understand what is taking place, and it is very, very, very challenging. We also see the manager of that particular program, Mr. Feroz Khan, and the headline in the Express as they speak with him is that 8,000 ghost workers have been smoked out. I don't know if smoke does work for ghosts, but again, I've listened earnestly to the issue, and I do understand the intention to restructure and to remove that element of criminality and that element of wastage and that element of a feeling for the purpose of what this is supposed to be about. I understand that. I understand the negative impact it is having on even the individuals who are involved in the program, who are benefiting or who think they're benefiting from these small sums of money, you know, and even those who obviously would be aggrieved because they are losing the large sums of money which they amalgamate from hundreds of workers or tens, 20 how many of our workers that they use. Well, I'm saying workers, but entities that they use their identities to get payment, and they take major parts of those payments as well. It is not easy, and all this is in the backdrop of a very difficult economic situation. All this is in the backdrop of a number of years of austerity and harsh conditions. All of this is in the backdrop of coming out of the PNM and dealing with, you know, what they do, what they give. And it is very, very, very hard. And I extend my sympathy. I understand it's hard to those genuine people in between, those people who have been working as well, and those people who will find it difficult, who don't know where their next employment is going to come from, and who are looking on at this economic climate and really wondering. All right, and I again appeal to the administrators as well. I appeal to our government to ensure that whatever is done quickly, and that people who need unemployment relief, people who need employment in general, are provided with those opportunities. Who feels it knows it. Right, that's one of the songs I contemplated playing this morning. Well, I couldn't play any, right? And sometimes when you ain't feeling it, you kind of don't know it. But remember how it feels. Right? Because some of us, you know, Miss Khadija Amin as well, I know you ain't come from uptown, right? You understand what it is as well. So let us work assiduously to get these things done, right? And also mitigate for the challenges that these brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters in humanity, our fellow citizens are going to face. And as though if that wasn't enough, the headquarters for the unemployment relief program, because it is under the local government at this point in time, you know, had that tragic incident with an officer there being shot. And of course, the circumstances surrounding that are not too clear at the moment. But I'm sure that investigators, etc., would get to the bottom of that situation. I even seen no joy for Joylanders, boy, oh gosh. A little bit of pressure with them as well, with NGC ending their sponsorship. I don't know if it's a contractual period of sponsorship that they had, and it has come to an end, or what the exact situation is. Let me go into it a little bit. Good morning to the management staff and all the players at Joylanders, right? Confirmed that the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago has ended its sponsorship of the band, bringing to a close a long-standing partnership that has supported the steel band's growth and community outreach. In a statement issued to fans, players and supporters, the Joylanders described the relationship with NGC as a meaningful partnership that helped strengthen its programs and uplift its members. The band expressed gratitude to the company for believing in its mission to foster excellence, unity, and opportunity through music and music education. While acknowledging the end of this chapter, the Joylanders said their commitment to music and community remains stronger than ever. The management pledged to continue pushing forward with resilience, pride, and unwavering spirit that defines our orchestra. So, not anything going into the substance of the end of sponsorship. I don't know if it would have been a sponsorship period for the ban from NGC, but I'm sure we'll be given a little more as things go along, and they are a well-organized band, so they are able, I'm sure, to be first among those who can advocate to other sponsors for some sort of assistance as well. Morning again, brother.
Yeah, Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford, sometimes you read the newspaper, sometimes you listen to the headline news and whatnot, and what the substance of the news really conflicts with the caption of the commentary on the newspaper and all that kind of thing.
Well, the headline has to be sensational to grab people, and sometimes it really isn't in line with the substance.
Yes, and sometimes I think it's deliberate sometimes.
Of course, it has to be sensational. That's what they do.
Well, yeah. You see, what happened here is that sometimes most people don't go into the substance of
the body of the, yeah.
And they just look at the headline, and it's misleading to them.
Yeah.
They run about saying all kind of things because they just look at the headline. Sometimes you hear the headline news in some of the stations, you hear the same thing. And for example, I heard one of the stations I heard yesterday, where Miss Amin spoke about those people in the URP, and where she was going. I spoke about it. I said, well, you need to communicate with those people and at least give them some timeline with respect to it. And I heard where she said that they were going to create more jobs.
Yeah.
Now, if you tell the people that, it'll be news, but the news sometimes don't give you all that. They give you a slight little piece, and they leave out sometimes the most important part. So I'm saying that sometimes they have to stop the mischief. And I've seen sometimes when you look at some of those reporters, even when they're interviewing members of government and whatnot, they look at the body language, look at the facial expression. It tells a lot. It's not just what you look at the body language, look at the facial, the eye contact, look at all these different things, and it tells a story, and people have to understand these things. I don't know what mischief they're up to, but we need fair, balance, independent news reporting in this country here. That is why, to some extent, the newspaper, in fact, in terms of their sales and whatnot, have been reducing significantly.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that people have to be very careful. As your last caller yesterday on the program said, you have to be careful what you read, be careful who you listen to, and all these different things. And people have to understand that people have their own agenda, right? And it's not necessarily your interest. So basically, that is it. So I'm expecting that things would. But again, I come back to the point where the government has to be very careful. They have to be very skilled, as you say, and be careful with respect to how they go about bringing about the transformation. Because in the final analysis, you're looking at people, and you're in a very competitive, a politically competitive environment, right?
Yeah.
And so you need to take that seriously and into account. I don't want to get into the other things, but I'll leave it out for today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. West. Yeah, it is a contentious issue because it involves people, right? And it involves as well predominantly people who are poor, who are, even if it's lower middle, right? And those others who are really struggling as well. And as I said, it comes in a context. Understand that the pressures externally as well are bearing upon the population. And we come from a time of licks. We come from a time of real challenges. The only little sweetie it had thrown out was a little sweetie around election time. For example, Stuart and they started at 0.001%, they reached 1, then they reached 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5 is where they stopped when they were dealing with negotiations. but only because of the electoral period. From no forex, they come and they say Exim Bank will have forex for certain people, etc. Only because of the electoral period. A limited number of URP workers or whatever was taking place, and how much ever being lost through whatever corrupt practices. But around the election time, swelling of the program tenfold. They take in thousands of people only because it was election time. All I understand, workers, contractors being paid tremendously late all the time. Government owing seemed to be the new way of business over that 10-year period. You have to factor in that challenge. When I tell you, small contractors under pressure, still under pressure, because the availability of finance is not there. But around election time, they pay who they wanted to pay. Somehow they find the money. Oh, how I wish every day was election, boy. Oh, how I wish that. Right? That's the nature of how challenged this system is for us. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Good morning, Sam. How you going?
Hey, morning, Granny. I did good. How you doing?
Yes, Granny, they're halfway. Waiting to go down my bank account to get the vision when the time reach.
all right.
Well, let's say, yeah, I want to say this morning. No, when the colony workers went home, they had no jobs to get, nobody to give them nothing. They had no help. The place was totally different to now. When the petrol workers went home, that was a problem. And the divers in the pipe let people take things, examples, and know how to handle themselves. Right? Now, these CPEC and URP workers, they will get back work. They will get back whole day work.
Yeah.
And good work. So they have the whole little strength. Then they have no strength, you know. Because they work 15 years and 20 years here. And they tell me back, I was a single parent with 2 children. I didn't know to travel. I don't know to cook meat. I want to try planting something. I planting something, so when I came back, I have something to cook.
Yeah.
Once I have flour, once I had the flour, right? So what these people will tell me, they work so long and they eat and drink everything. No matter if you're renting, now you have to know if a professor has 1 child, 2 surgical doctors have 2 children. You have to know your meals.
Yeah, pressure, Granny. Granny, you is a boss, you know. What you were able to survive and to do, you know, build yourself and take care. You is a boss. Plenty people don't know how to live. That hard.
Now hear this, Baka, if you want to go Independence Day, if you want to go Republic Day, if you want to have big thing Olias night, if you want to go 2 days in Carnival, Easter coming, you want to go on culture, what would you have?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go if I had to go Indian or Day, or if I had to go anything older. I could watch myself, that I could be poor, and I live in 1 room.
Yeah.
And I have a little house here, and it's leaking a little. I am not going to do what my family or my neighbors is doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what I could do to educate my children. And also look to see if I could educate my grandchildren.
Yeah.
You have to buy expensive things.
Yeah.
You could eat dashing bush, you could eat pumpkin, you could eat bhaji. But you have to look at your meals. And nobody could say anything bad in my family about me because I wouldn't go in front of the door to ask.
Yeah.
Let us make what we have to, pray to God, drink some porridge, eat some biscuit and tea. Don't what we cannot afford. Let me tell you something, Baka. If you're a single parent, your husband has a dead or your wife has a dead, you can't be a single parent having 2 or 3 children and want somebody to help you. Well, it's the man.
Yeah.
Let them get the man to mind the children. That is the problem in this country. That is one thing Rowley was right about.
Yeah. I hear that. Thank you very much, Granny. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, and I will give people advice. Come out and do anything at our work. I have a lady helping me because I can't clean, and she doing what? You have a fella cutting grass here. I'm not a rich lady, but I can't do. I have to spend my money, $800 in medicine. I can't do what my sisters could do. If they're going to Bego, I want to go. Why? Thank you, son. God bless you for this time.
Yeah, thank you very much. That discipline. My father used to say, sit down and hang your hat, right? Just in case. Because if you stand up and hang it, it might have a time when you can't stand up. So sit down and hang your hat. Don't hang it too high. Right? Old people just tell us about champagne taste and Moby budget. Of course, within the society, yes, Granny, you're right. Everybody want to go everywhere. I just say, and it's a song, if you ain't have no money, keep your broke tail home. Right? And I singing that for myself. I singing that for myself. Because if you ain't have no money, where going? Where really? So I understand that discipline that you are encouraging within the society as well. Whew. On $4,000-$5,000, $6,000 maybe maximum. I heard Miss Amin say, one of staff according to the, working per month, rent. I ain't even want to start to do the maths, because I could do maths and it don't add up. It does not add up. And we really, really need to move our society to a place where we are able to provide, good paying jobs, with wages that are living wages, to borrow, from the jargon of our union leaders. And we really need to work as well, Trinidad and Tobago. And some of us do it. I take nothing away from those people who have the right attitude and who go out there and put in their 100%. But for us who know we could do better, who know we could put in more so that Trinidad can produce more, let's get it together now. Let's get it together. Let us have that kind of Jolene John attitude and towards work. Beast, monsters, productive, getting it done. I just saying, I watch work ethic sometimes and say, wow, Chizan, better you than me. I say sometimes, to sustain that, how long? Like the pace, the amount of responsibility, the amount of work, the to and fro. I say sometimes, if I take on a responsibility such as that, 10 years max, and then in between you're going to have major burnout. That is the level that some people work and produce at. While too many of us otherwise dragging the flag, not earning our keep. Other people have to propel the society to carry us. Too much dead weight as well. Don't make yourself dead weight. Don't be a burden. Be a positive and a contributing factor to your society as well. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Blessed morning to you.
Now, thanks for taking my call. At least I give you that credit because, so I give you that kudos.
You're absolutely welcome.
Okay. So, let me ask you a question. When you say some of us are becoming somewhat of a burden to the state, who are you referring to? Where some people are to help you? Who are you referring to, sir?
Just all of us are just making a general call to the citizens so we would know ourselves.
So technically,
and I say we, I put myself there too.
Well, you see, because you're an African so-called radio station, and 90% of the people who listen here have one particular race. So when you make that call, it leaves to ask yourself if you are talking to the African people, hey, all you wake up, get yourself. People, all you say no and all you ain't doing nothing, and people have to help all you. To me, that's what you're telling me.
Nah, not my program. Everybody just listen to me.
I am stating what I...
But just clarifying for you. I just clarifying for you.
Well, yes, you did. So I just clarified from my point of view.
Yeah.
Because you know what that sounds like? It sounds like when Dr. Rowley say, wean yourself off the government. You know that?
You find it sounds so? Anything that Dr. Rowley say?
The same mantra you preaching is the same mantra, Doctor. That's what he meant by that.
Anything that Dr. Rowley say? Don't say I sounding like him at all.
I am simply saying, I never say you sound like him. I am saying your statement reflects the state. So let me put it up, phrase it differently for you. Your statement reflects the statement of Dr. Rowley's statement as well.
Right.
Because you're intelligent for us. So I'd put it in your context.
Yeah, me.
So it is the same thing. The former Prime Minister was telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, hey, get up, be productive, don't go to work, and where you're supposed to produce 8 hours, you're producing 2, and sign the book and go home. But everybody get upset with that. And look, this morning you are actually telling them more or less the same thing, that our society should be a productive society. Hey, what a thing. Well, anyhow, when UNC wins, everybody wins. Enjoy the rest of your day, my brother. Enjoy your weekend, and have a safe and productive one.
You too, my brother. Yeah, you just have me absolutely entertained as well. I ain't lying. You just put a smile on my face on a morning as well. Thank you very much for calling in. That's not what Dr. Rowley was saying alone. And if he meant that, and if he meant productivity and then the sharing of our society's wealth with all of us, then we'd be good. But what he was saying was a totally different thing. It was tighten the belt for the poor, and the rich and the aristocracy take everything. Rich get richer, poor get poorer. He was defending the 1% in their monopolization of the society and its wealth, and destroying the working class. That is what he was doing. So, boy, I have to be careful if I make a statement that sound like him, in my opinion, because I wouldn't really want to sound like him. But if there is a positive statement that he has made in between, as even Granny has outlined, then no problem. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
According to that last person there, nobody is not telling people not to go and be productive. Every single person are saying, go and produce. Go and make yourself
Every
productive.
Sensible person encourages others to be productive.
This blasted stupid man is a direct effing PNM man.
All right.
Don't, you understand?
Yeah, but don't get too upset when you say.
No, I do get upset when you're talking shit.
All right. You only trip that call off a little bit, right? but there's nobody sensible within this society who is promoting unproductivity. There are people who want to utilize even wrong things within this society for their political benefit, who defend wrongdoing in this society as well for their political benefit. We're not about that. And that does not augur well for the society. Right? So let us distinguish. And I'm telling you, oh God, I have no problem with anybody calling in. We invite anybody with any view that you have. Feel free. But of course, we will discuss and we will clarify it as well. This program is listened to by people from every single walk of life, every race, creed, and color. So when I say, let us be productive, I don't even talk to you like, somebody used to say earlier, you, this, and not include yourself. I speak for us. We all need to be productive. Mr. West, I hope he didn't trip you off too,
Huh?
I hope he didn't trip you off as well like the last call. I get tripped off,
No. I grown accustomed to that gentleman.
Too cool and composed for that.
He's on his own mission. And, it doesn't necessarily coincide with my interest and my intent. So
Yeah.
I really don't take him out. I don't take him seriously.
Yeah.
I think that I don't pay much attention to call member. I don't really pay attention. But I heard something yesterday with respect to some comments that he would have made, which was an admission of the failures or failings of the government, the previous government. And it was very surprising. And I don't know when the very fair caller who called recently, they defend that down to the hilt. They've been defending that one. They are now admitting that what we experienced over the years were in fact poor governance.
Yeah.
The lack of democracy, the question of autocracy, when you don't listen to people and all that, autocracy and all that. So people have to understand. I don't know where that caller comes from, but again, I'm not tripped off. But I'm saying that I need to explore a little more. And it meant that the things that I was saying over the years, over the months about that government and the issue of poor government, they are now reached the point where of confession. And people need to go into it a little more and understand why it is you need to stay with these people. You cannot come back and present these very said people to the population of this country.
Yeah.
You cannot. Some people say you forgive, but you don't forget.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but the fact, if you forget, those who forget the past are what? Doomed to repeat
it, yeah.
And they forget 1986 and they repeat it. And I'm saying, don't get tied up with that kind of, that silver tongue and all that kind of thing. Don't get tied up with that. The fact remains is that these people should take a rest. You say when the PNM lost 86, Mahabir, Mohammed and all them fellas and them take aside, those people have to take aside the damage that they have done to this country. Right? I don't think that they should see the corridors of power. They should be in any sphere of governance in this country again. And they have admitted it. So people understand it.
Yeah.
Don't get trapped. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. If it is one program on a morning that reaches beyond any traditional base, it is here, right? I have been taught from get-go, and it is exemplified in the life even of my father as well, that race is ignorance. To judge somebody and to discriminate against somebody based on their on something that they do not choose, their ethnicity, is stupid to the max. And I am not on that, and people understand that, and that is why we have such a diverse listenership. Good morning.
Morning, brother.
Hey, morning, brother.
Yeah, calling from Tobago here.
Hey, welcome. Tobago in your house.
Yeah. Now, I call a couple calls are back. They really need to wake up and understand that this is Trinidad and Tobago and that the election over him.
Yeah.
This is Trinidad and Tobago, and this is a time that it's time for us all to assist in governing the country. When a political party fails in their 5-year tenure, it's not the political party, not just the political party that fails in it. It's the whole country that fails.
Yeah.
If things set back for the government, for that administrator, it's not time for the another party to say, you see, the fail put us back. It's the time where we should say, how do we move from here? And this is the position the present government is in at now. Where do we go from here? The only way to the place the Trinidad and Tobago could go from here is up. The previous government had this country so much in a dung that you wasn't even sure when was Friday.
Yeah.
And as far as the work ethics are concerned, listen, the PNM has encouraged lazy people for the last how much years in order to gain prominence, to stay in power. This at an early morning and people go and work and don't want to work. That didn't come from no new government. That came from way back. And when Dr. Rowley says it's time to wean the population of the government, was just an admittance of what they did. So when you hear people call and talk about things like the present Prime Minister is the one that's responsible for corporal punishment, being thing, and the parents are responsible for their children. Just the way the government, the previous administration, the previous PNM government are the ones responsible for the set of lazy people it have now. They encourage young people, we go give you a 2 hours work or don't even work and we pay you, just vote for the party. And people grow accustomed to that. So now when we're trying to build back the country without money, it's hard for these people to understand.
Yeah.
So when you hear people like the caller about 2 or 3 callers back talking, they just, as the last caller said, you have to just do hear them.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tobago. Yeah, blessings. And it is challenging. I saw yesterday or day before, San Juan Lavantil Regional Corporation cutting the bush around President's ground where they are responsible as well, and I've had some issues with their work as well. But even the stretch coming down, and I've never seen that before. And I'm saying that if we are employed to work and do certain things, we must do that work. We have a responsibility to do that work. Do not waste your life, your time, your energy, when you could be a productive force for Trinidad. Do what you could do, and do a little bit more even, please. And that is not a message for any particular group. I don't see group. There are times when we address, our people, and all people as my people, in particular ways, for the best impact and benefit. But generally speaking, and we have to get out of that culture if we are going to get out of the difficulty that we are in. And I think we have leaders who exemplify that work and that performance and that positive work ethic. And we need to drive home from the top of our organizations that level of commitment and work. All right, so, there is never enough time. And I appreciate people's view, even sometimes if it's not in alignment. You just bring a little spice to the program. You just ignite the little energy sometime. Right, so blessings to you and blessings to everybody across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. All right, we will be back, God willing, next week. God spare life. Have a wonderful Friday, productive Friday, and enjoy, you know, after work as well. Blessings. Take care.
On the street, 91.9 FM.
Falling in love with Jesus.
This is the voice of Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. We are preaching emergency alert